Do you know what a Cinnabon is?
There's nothing better than a fresh cinnamon roll, warm and gooey and melt in your mouth delicious. Whether you like them plain, lightly glazed, or piled high with icing, you can't go wrong. But not all cinnamon buns are created equal, so let's find out the 10 secret reasons why Cinnabon cinnamon rolls are so amazing.
You ever eat a Cinnabon? You have to take a nap halfway through.
The Cinnabon secret recipe.
Who'd like to know our secret recipe? I'm not going to tell you.
You might think the unique flavor and texture of Cinnabon cinnamon buns could only be the result of a secret family recipe passed down through the generations, a highly guarded, priceless heirloom. You may be surprised to learn that isn't the case, though the recipe is precious. Cinnabon didn't randomly stumble upon the perfect method either. Rather, it took time, dedication, and a passion for gooey baked goods. Cinnabon dates back to the 1980s, when the first restaurant opened in a Seattle mall.
Let's go to the mall, everybody!
Father and son, Rich and Greg Koman, made it their mission to create the world's most delectable cinnamon bun, and boy did they deliver. It was no easy feat, but after months of trial and error and hundreds of scrapped recipes, their dream came true with the help of Geraldine Brousseau. With unique ingredients from all over the world, Geraldine and the Koman family managed to create the ideal cinnamon bun. Soft, warm, sweetly decadent, and boasting a cinnamon flavor you'd be hard-pressed to replicate. Indeed, many have tried to imitate the Cinnabon recipe, but not even one has succeeded. When you feel the craving for a fresh cinnamon bun, there's only one place to go: Cinnabon.
They're baking fresh Cinnabon.
Raisin the Bar.
I love raisins, and he hates raisins.
Though the original recipe was a nationwide hit, there was one change that came later, one that many people will agree is what took the Cinnabon classic bun from merely amazing to completely and totally outstanding. Lovers of dry, wrinkled grapes may disagree, but the majority of the population rejoiced when raisins were banished from the recipe.
Really, they're just humiliated grapes?
That's right, the original Cinnabon classic roll contained raisins. When you consider the nutritional value, or lack thereof, of these cinnamon buns, which contain 37 grams of fat and 58 grams of sugar, all wrapped up in one sticky 880-calorie portion of purely indulgent gourmet excellency, you may say they could stand to include a healthy touch. Well, you would be wrong, because the buns only became more popular once the dried fruit was excluded. There is a time and a place for those tiny treats, and that is not in the classic Cinnabon bun.
Raisins.
It's nature's candy.
Always fresh.
You're very fresh. You seem very fresh to me.
Move over, Duncan. Step aside, Subway. At Cinnabon, you know you're always getting a freshly baked pastry. If the aroma doesn't clue you in, take a bite of one of their famous cinnamon buns. It's guaranteed to be a good experience, so there's no way you'll be disappointed. It'll always be warm and soft, and even if your cinnamon craving hits you after work, you won't receive a bun that's grown stale over the course of the day. No, you don't need to worry about that, because unlike at many other establishments, the ovens at Cinnabon are constantly churning out fresh batches of ooey gooey goodness.
Plump, gooey, and guaranteed to rot your teeth.
A new tray comes out every 30 minutes at a minimum, and in a pinch, it only takes 15 minutes to cook up these renowned rolls. In some select restaurants, you can actually watch up close as they prepare the rolls in front of you. Besides, it's somewhat necessary for them to keep the cinnamon rolls coming. They have a demand to supply, and what a demand it is. Every year, Cinnabon sells more than a whopping 1 billion buns, and during the holidays, sales rise up to 8,300 rolls per hour. Now that's a lot of cinnamon rolls.
I brought a few more.
That's so many.
Reheat for the win.
Here on the mainland, we just nuke it.
While one of the reasons Cinnabon rolls are the best is due to their guaranteed freshness, you don't have to worry about eating the whole 268 grams in one sitting. These cinnamon rolls are known as a delicacy when taken piping hot right out of the oven. But did you know they're just as good when you reheat them in a microwave oven? All it takes is a quick 20 to 25 seconds and they're rejuvenated, back to life, and ready to go, straight to your stomach. It may not be the exact same experience as eating them at the Cinnabon store location, location since you won't see the warm, steaming batches waiting to be devoured, but you won't have anything to complain about. The taste and aroma will prove more than satisfactory. Moreover, since you know they'll be just as good the second time around, you can really splurge and indulge.
Treat yourself.
Instead of getting just one bun on your next trip to Cinnabon, you can get an entire baker's dozen, knowing you'll be able to reheat them anytime and enjoy them at your leisure. Cinnabon even has an option called Cinnapacks, which allow you to buy several classic rolls at a time. You can bring them home and rest assured, knowing that once you reheat them, they'll reach the same level of gourmet excellency as they would at your local Cinnabon. They make a great gift idea for your favorite sweet-toothed friends and family, and you can store them in your freezer to make sure you always have some at hand. Stock up now and save them for later. The doctor might not totally agree, but a cinnamon roll a day keeps the smile on your face.
Where you work out, Cinnabon?
That's Cinnabon dough.
We give you the dough.
One of the telltale signs that you're eating a classic Cinnabon cinnamon roll is their signature dough, which is unique in the sense that while it's both pillowy soft and spongy, it somehow also holds its shape. This cannot be understated, considering the towering height these buns can boast. At Cinnabon, the rolls are never flat and squished. That would just be sad. Instead, they sit tall and proud, rolled to perfection. Tender, squishy, and somehow firm, chewing on one of these bad boys is an indisputable delight. One of the tricks to obtaining this perfect consistency may shock you. Can you believe it's not butter?
What?
While butter is used in the dough-making process, the secret actually comes in the form of butter's less famous cousin, margarine. Once the dough is made and spread out into a rectangle, margarine is smeared all over the dough prior to rolling and cutting it. This is done for texture and helps the delicious Cinnabon cinnamon roll maintain its perfect shape.
I tell you, it's a thing of beauty.
The Cinnabon secret technique.
Secret technique.
They might seem like total opposites, but what do meaty steaks and sugary Cinnabon cinnamon rolls have in common? The answer is easier than you might think. Here's a hint. Don't overdo them. Many people prefer their steak medium rare, but to make a medium rare Cinnabon roll, the center needs to be soft and barely cooked. Though they're baked, not grilled, who knew the terminology for meat would suit cinnamon buns so well? Both sweet and savory lovers can unite and agree that the center needs to be squishy and tender.
Got to try a little tenderness.
While a medium rare steak gushes with juices, a Cinnabon classic roll drips with syrup and frosting, beautifully packaged in one tender morsel. The rolls are pulled from the oven at 165 to 190 degrees, which allows them to remain baked and firm on the outside and melt in your mouth soft and spongy in the middle. If they were steaks, they would be considered ready once they reach medium rare, though even rare would be more than acceptable. Cinnabon knows that no one wants a well-done cinnamon roll, dry, crumbling, and crusty. Accordingly, they developed this technique to consistently deliver the perfect bun every time. Go on, go get yourself a classic roll, bite in, and let the soft dough and aromatic flavor take over your senses. You won't be sorry.
Trust me on this one.
Sticky sweet syrup.
I love syrup.
The dough may be the base of the classic cinnamon roll, but these rolls won't be anything without Cinnabon's special sweet syrup to top it all off. If your bun isn't absolutely swimming in this flavorful and fragrant syrup, something's wrong. In fact, the sticky mix is a requirement. Without it, can you even call your baked treat a cinnamon roll? No, didn't think so. The Cinnabon roll must unequivocally ooze with the thick, sticky goo. Finely crafted with more brown sugar and cinnamon than is strictly healthy, but entirely obligatory, a cinnamon bun just wouldn't be as scrumptious without being fully submerged in it. Of course, people usually think the thick, fluffy white frosting is what ties the whole pastry together.
I think it ties the whole room together.
As will be discussed shortly, but it must be known that without the syrup to carry the highly concentrated flavors, the buns wouldn't be nearly sticky or tasty enough to be truly considered the world's best cinnamon rolls. Thanks to the caramelized brown sugar and fragrant warm cinnamon, the syrup takes the scent and taste of Cinnabon's classic roll to a whole new level of delicacy. You know that Cinnabon's classic rolls will always hit the spot, and you can thank the flavorful syrup for elevating the rolls from just plain old delicious to fully and undeniably scrumptious. You can rely on Cinnabon for the perfect sticky comfort food, guaranteed to satisfy your craving every time. Who cares if it's a bit messy? Okay, a lot messy. That's just part of the fun.
That was so much fun.
Cinnabon's Irresistible Aroma.
What smells so good?
You're in the mall. Suddenly, a scent wafts by, capturing your nose and your heart. You can't think of anything else besides the fragrant, sweet cinnamon filling your senses. You weren't even hungry, but now you have no choice. The Cinnabon cinnamon roll will be yours. You can't think of anything else. You need it. You've never wanted anything this badly before, and it's no accident. The ovens that are constantly producing warm rolls are strategically placed at the front of the store to ensure the aromatic scent of fresh cinnamon goodness washes over everyone in the vicinity. The placement of the ovens may seem inconsequential, but it's critical. When they are moved to the back of the store, the smell is muted, which results in a drastic fall in sales. This is one of the reasons that Cinnabon restaurants are rarely found as standalone establishments.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Instead, they are usually located next to other stores, tucked into malls, as was the very first Cinnabon that opened in Seattle in 1985. Even if you weren't going out for a cinnamon roll in particular, you'll be drawn in just by catching a whiff. It's a tried and true technique, and Cinnabon knows exactly what they are doing. They are more than aware that the sweet scent of hot, gooey rolls is nearly impossible to resist. And why would you want to? There can't be anything better. In fact, between batches, sometimes employees will heat up full baking sheets of cinnamon and sugar to keep the smell strong. The mouth-watering aroma is authentic and in no way artificial, as it is due entirely to the ingredients being baked. Pavlov might have something to say about this method of attracting customers, but hey, who can complain when it smells so darn delectable?
Will you quit your complaining?
Frosted by the gods.
Now frosting, a buttload of frosting.
When you imagine a cinnamon roll, is it entirely smothered in thick, goopy white icing? Of course! It is a necessary and critical ingredient in the makeup of a cinnamon bun, which may be why it was so difficult to perfect. When Geraldine and the Coman family were creating the original recipe, they went through countless duds when they came to whipping up the frosting. After seemingly endless tribulations of trial and error, they could finally, at long last, rest. Against all odds, they had succeeded. The final combination comprises a lemony cream cheese icing that starts out light and fluffy and then glistens as it melts, thick and goopy and sugary sweet. Many have tried to copy Cinnabon's uniquely famous frosting, but none of the attempts have succeeded in truly replicating it. Though they may be delicious in their own right, it is just impossible to imitate. The lemon cream cheese frosting is the final touch, the icing on top, maybe even la creme de la creme if it is your favorite part of the heavenly delight that is Cinnabon's classic roll.
I'm just a big toasty cinnamon bun.
Sinfully delicious cinnamon.
What's that?
It's a cinnamon stick, sir.
The number one reason why Cinnabon's classic rolls are near legendary in the hearts and minds of all cinnamon roll lovers is overwhelmingly due to their special ingredient, the cinnamon itself. You may laugh and ask what the big deal is, since don't all cinnamon rolls obviously contain cinnamon? Very true. But here's the thing, Cinnabon doesn't just use any old cinnamon to craft these gourmet pastries. They use only the best cinnamon, namely the Makara cinnamon blend originating from the Kerinci region of West Sumatra, Indonesia. Like with tea, the quality of cinnamon differs according to where it comes from, how it is grown and harvested, and in what manner it is prepared. Geraldine and the Coman family tested cinnamon from every growing region in the world and determined that this Indonesian strain was above and beyond all others.
Above and beyond.
To understand why Cinnabon cinnamon is so superior to the average grocery store brand, which is known as Saigon rather than Makara, you need to consider what makes it stand out. Makara cinnamon is from a specific growing region in Indonesia, grown at high elevations. It contains high concentrations of volatile oil and cellulose, which give it that uniquely robust, pungent spice. Cinnabon trademarked their Makara blend, though you can buy Makara of lesser quality. It just won't be the same. Makara cinnamon is the secret star of the show, and you can taste the difference quality makes. The popular cereal brand Cinnamon Toast Crunch may boast that you can see the swirls of cinnamon on their breakfast flakes, but at Cinnabon, the cinnamon hits you in all your senses. Are you craving a Cinnabon classic roll yet?
Yes, I am.
Satisfy that craving with another Babble Top video. Just tap that screen. And if you're new to our channel, show us some love. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.